how you do this, you have to have literally the patience of a monk. So bless you. I can only imagine how eager you are to go home, right? And, so I salute you. I appreciate your patience, Jim, for what you do. If you do this every day, man, God bless you. You deserve a raise. And that's how I would kind of get on their wavelength, because I want to build rapport. I want to show them that I'm empathetic to how they feel, because if Jim just sees me as another demanding consumer that just wants to use Jim as a tool, then he's going to treat me like everyone else. He's going to get even madder. However, if I'm the one that relates to him and let him know that we work someone in the same role, or we do the same thing and we deal with stupids every day, right? And you kind of just say that, like, man, I can't believe you have the patience to go through this. Some of the people are amazing, Jim. How do you do this without hitting your computer screen, and joke with him, try to get him to laugh, right? What's up, everybody? My name is Daniel with Sales Remastered. I'm a host here on this channel that teaches you how to remaster your way of selling, how to remaster the way you actually perceive the art of selling. And I call it an art because if you can masterfully learn how to do this particular skill, you're actually going to achieve much greater things in life and actually attain the very things that you want with much more ease, rather than struggling every single day. And if you happen to be in sales as a profession, I'm gonna teach you a trick or two that's gonna really help you boost your income. To learn more about me, there's some links below this video. You can definitely follow me on any social media channel that you're already on, like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Twitter. Everything is there. The handle is @SalesRemastered. Again, links below the video, or simply go to the platform and search hashtag #SalesRemastered. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you one helpful hack on how to get what you want. That's it, right? And it just sounds like, oh man, wow, how amazing. And it's actually a little bit more simpler than you think. I think that we tend to, as humans, overcomplicate things because we think that, no, it just can't be that easy to get things that we want. And when I'm talking about things that you want, I'm not talking about like, The Secret or positive affirmation. Like, okay, well, D, I want $4 million and the lottery. How do I get that? I want that. I'm not talking about that, boo-boo. What I am talking about, though, is how to get what you want, like compliance. Like if you want somebody that you're communicating with to do something for you, such as buy, or such as comply, or such as cooperate to do what it is you need them to do so that you can achieve an ultimate goal, then you're going to want to watch this video all the way through. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below with your takeaway, and definitely share this video with someone who really needs to see it. So first off, to understand how to get what it is you want, we need to first understand that we need the approval from the person that we want it from. Make sense? So typically when we want something like a sale, or we want cooperation, or we want someone to listen to us, we need the approval from the individual that we are engaging with, or individuals or people that we're communicating that message to, right? And so how do you do that? Because you ultimately what you're doing is you're reverse engineering. And so in order for me to get what I want, I need to get the person that I want it from to approve my ultimately my request, right? And so if you take a step back, in order to get their approval, what it really boils down to is you just need to get on their level. You need to get on their wavelength, their frequency. You see, what I've learned in being in sales is that the human psychology, which I refer to also as EQ, emotional intelligence. This is something that we all share. Every single human being shares this quality, shares this specific EQ, right? Measurement. And what I'm talking about is each of us communicate within a specific way. So one of the original forms of communication besides voice, right? Like communicating with words. If you go back to, all the way from like the ancient Indians and cowboys, right? The original form of communication before internet, before texting, before phones, before even literally writing probably, is music. So when you really think about it, music is one of the oldest forms of communication. It's been around forever and a day. And music was was used to illustrate an emotion. And so, an emotion of love, an emotion of fear, an emotion of hate, emotion of anger, an emotion of sadness. And each one has evolved. So today, now they have what's called genres, right? So R&B, rock, old school rock, hip hop. There's just so many, alternative music. And these particular genres have a sense of rhythm to it, have a sense of an emotion to it. Make sense? Same reason why you can't use like some, let's say, Megadeth hard rock lyrics to, let's say, a Beyonce soundtrack, right? They just don't mingle, they don't mix. Why? Is because the frequency is off. And it's all going to make sense in just a second. Just follow me here. But if you really understand that the form of music is one of the oldest forms of communication, you'll understand a thing that's called primitive instinct. And primitive instinct is something that it's a reaction that we have. So if you think about it, imagine you're going to sleep at home, right? Like you're in your bed, you're about to fall asleep, and then you hear a loud bang inside your living room. Now, immediately your primitive instinct believes you're in danger. So you start thinking of the worst things, ultimately, like, oh, is it an intruder? Do I need protection? What if this person has a gun, right? Am I going to get hurt? Is my family okay? And that's your primitive instinct kicking in, because we are always in kind of fight or flight or survival mode. And in the basic form, the same thing happens when you break it down to how we initially communicate with the person that we're trying to get approval from. You see, usually when we're trying to get approval from somebody, that somebody is a stranger. Otherwise, it'd be very easy for us to get an approval or compliance, because if we knew them, we would already have rapport and somewhat of a relationship in order to kind of make it easier to get that person to do something. Get it? So typically, we usually want to get compliance or approval or a purchase from a stranger. Now, in order to get that, though, you need that stranger to approve your request and comply and move forward and take action. And in order for them to get on that level, you need to get on their wavelength. So whatever genre, whatever rhythm that person will most likely identify your message with is going to increase your chance of getting that compliance or getting that purchase. Get it? So let me explain and kind of go a little bit deeper in something that I think that you'll be able to understand and relate to, maybe even most recently, is if you've ever communicated with somebody who, let's say, customer service or even a waitress or a waiter, somebody, maybe even an employee of a retail shop or store that you visited, and you can just sense that they hate their job, right? That they don't want to be at work. But what? We happen to be the person relying on that individual to do something that we need them to do, whether it's ring us up, whether it's to give us a discount, whether it's to help us find a particular product, whether it's to accept a refund, whatever it is, we are almost at their mercy because we need them to do something that we want, right? In order for us to achieve our goal. And so if you're communicating with that individual, most of society, most of people will kind of shy away from, like, man, this person's a dick, or man, I can't stand. So they'll bark back, right? They'll meet aggression with aggression. However, what I do understand is that two wrongs don't make a right. So you can't meet aggression with aggression, kind of like when we're, cold calling prospects and they're mad, or when we're in the heat of a moment of a sale and we start getting argumentative. That's not the right way to go about it, because that argument is never going to work out with, oh, okay, you're right. Somebody has to fold. And in order for you to get your approval, you usually have to have enough awareness to understand that your ego could get in the way of you getting what you want. So if you have enough awareness and enough kind of humility, right, in order to understand that you don't need to be the strongest one, you don't need to be, the alpha in order to get what you want, you need to adapt to their frequency. So how would you do that to somebody that's negative? Well, how you would do that to somebody that's negative is you get on their level. So you understand the genre, right? You understand their rhythm. You can hear it. You can almost hear it. Like, you ever get that? Like your partner or your spouse or your girlfriend, boyfriend talks to you, and then they ask you, well, what's wrong with you? Like, nothing's wrong with me. Why? So, because you sound like you're mad, right? Like, I could just tell you're mad. Why? It's because the frequency, the rhythm, the genre of your tonality. And this is why they say tonality is so important. And so if you can sense through the tonality and the body language that person is on a wavelength of anger, then you can actually adapt to that frequency. So if I was going to Jim and Jim was angry and I needed Jim's approval, I'm gonna get on Jim's wavelength by simply identifying that he's in a frequency of anger and aggression. So how would I do that? Do I meet him with anger and aggression? No, you side with him. And so I would be like, hey, Jim, I don't know how you do this, man. I work in the same industry as you, Jim, and I deal with a lot of people every day. How you do this, you have to have literally the patience of a monk. So bless you. I can only imagine how eager you are to go home, right? And, so I salute you. I appreciate your patience, Jim, for what you do. If you do this every day, man, God bless you. You deserve a raise. And that's how I would kind of get on their wavelength, because I want to build rapport. I want to show them that I'm empathetic to how they feel, because if Jim just sees me as another demanding consumer that just wants to use Jim as a tool, then he's going to treat me like everyone else. He's going to get even madder. However, if I'm the one that relates to him and let him know that we work someone in the same role, or we do the same thing and we deal with stupids every day, right? And you kind of just say that, like, man, I can't believe you have the patience to go through this. Some of the people are amazing, Jim. How do you do this without hitting your computer screen? And joke with him, try to get him to laugh, right? And say, anyways, I'm going to be probably the easiest person you're going to deal with, Jim, because I understand where you're coming from. I understand what you do. So let's spend some time together, Jim. I'm going to be the reason why you finally smiled today, right? And so this is how you get on their side. And why though? Because you need Jim to let down his guard. You need Jim to understand that you are on the same frequency. You're in the same genre. Right? So if you ever go to like the gym, or you ever get into a mode, or you want to get into a zone, there's a specific genre that mixes well with your mental state, right? And so if you're trying to get angry, you're trying to get aggressive, maybe you're working out, maybe some hard rock or Metallica or AC/DC, whatever type of genre you're into at that time is going to influence you to act a specific way. Right? But if you're trying to get in that mindset, and you hear a genre that's not meshing well with you, like you hear Beyonce at a point where you're trying to do cardio and that's just not your thing, you're going to immediately change it. You don't want to hear it, right? But what you do want to hear is something that's on your level, something that's on your frequency, and that gets your approval. That gets your approval to do what? To continue listening and to comply, and maybe even hit repeat. You get it? So that's a particular hack that we need to pay attention to, because it's the frequency that we are always on. Whether we know it or not, we're on that frequency. And I want you to pay attention to the people you communicate with, because they have a specific frequency, and I want you to have fun with it. I want you to play with it. Do it with your wife, do it with your husband, do it with your spouse, do it with your partner, your girlfriend, boyfriend, your manager, your parents, your siblings, anybody, a stranger. Like, go in right now and look for someone who doesn't like their job, right? And have fun with it, play with it, use it as practice, spar. And then when you get really good at it, you get a chance to use it on anything, whether it's cold calls, whether it's customer service, whether it's communicating with someone that you hope to get a discount from, whether it's someone you really need a favor from. You get it? This is how you get what you want. You need to understand you need the approval from the person that you need to get the thing that you want from. And in order to get what you want, you need to get their approval. In order to get their approval, you need to first get through their roadblock, their guard, right? Everyone has a guard up. Everybody. We're all protecting ourselves in some way, shape, or form. This is why we bullshit people all day. Like, hey, how you doing? How's your weekend? It was good. Even though it could have sucked. Even though it was dull as fuck, right? It could have sucked ass. But still, what do we say? Oh, it was great. Why? Because we got a guard up, right? And we kind of put out this representation where we're kind of hiding things, and we have to understand. And you might be like, not me, D, I keep it 100. I'm 100% real. Okay, boo-boo, but everyone else is not necessarily like that. And if you can have enough emotional intelligence and be aware enough to understand that everyone has their own rhythm, everyone has their own genre, and if you adapt your message to that particular genre, they're going to accept you, approve you, and comply with you. And that's how you get what you want. Please leave your comment below. Share this with someone who needs to see it. This sales channel gives you another perspective of sales. It teaches you another way of communication so you make noise in a different way so you can get what it is you want, whether it is sales, whether it is a date, whether it is, compliance from someone, a promotion, a job, whatever. I appreciate your attention for sticking around. Please check out the other videos on the channel. I got plenty more. Add me to your feed on Instagram, add me to your feed on Facebook, add me to your YouTube feed, and definitely keep around, hit the bell, and be notified of any content that I have. You want to learn more about me, feel free to go to salesremaster.com. I got an amazing sales script that I give away for free. Just use your personal email address, you get on your phone, and you'll have it at a push of a button anytime. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.